The offense was stinky. We're going to explain that and a little bit more here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show with Jay and Coop. Of course, that is Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review, and give us 5 stars. You don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and just give us 5 anyway and gift it. Appreciate y'all pulling up per the usual. We got a lot of things that we're going to cover. We're going to dive into the Cotton Bowl and stuff like what the heck happened in that game. We're also going to talk about, honestly, what happens next. Well, of course, look at the polls like we always do. And, yeah, that's really about it. This is a Hog Media production presented by our partners over at Sleeper. If you haven't checked them out for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Use our promo code UNFAIR, and they will give you $20 to play and match your deposit at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Coop, I'm going to pass it to you in just a second, but I have an opening statement that I want to make to the people because we've seen a lot of growth over the last year or so, right? 19,000 subs right now, 19.5 to be exact, getting ready to head to 19.6. So I would like to start with this for you all. It's my opening statement, opening monologue. First and foremost, I, Coop as well, the people, understands everybody disappointed in that game. My Texas friends that are in the chat that I actually like because I know you all are, you're going to just friendly troll me. You're not going to be disrespectful, call me names, or talk about me. But those trolls that I don't like, don't worry, I've already blocked you, so I don't have to listen to you. But my friends that are Texas fans, I appreciate the trolling banter because, we have love for each other. For my Sooner fans, I want to open with this, that don't think that me and Coop's optimism in life means that we are not disappointed on this performance. Oh, we are very much disappointed. Texas right now is playing way better football, especially when you go to the head-to-heads. This is the third game in 4 years that we didn't score a touchdown in. BV has not figured out his offensive coordinator as Steve Sarkisian has figured out his defensive coordinator. We are disappointed like you all. But there isn't an end-all, be-all for us. So if it doesn't feel like we're giving you all the rawest of emotions, we did that during the game. We talked after the game. Now we're here at the mindset of, all right, flush it, move forward. Both of us have rewatched the game. Whew, stinky. So, Coop, I want to start on the defensive side of the ball because I just don't want to live with too much negativity in my life right now because the offense we're going to have to rip the offense like crazy. We're going to definitely do that. So, first off, how is your Sunday going, my friend?
Like I told you, as soon as the game was over, I was, obviously everything kind of set in at that point. I was okay with not watching anything else for the rest of the evening. So I went to our guest bedroom, turned on a movie, and about 10 minutes of that movie, just fell asleep. So got to go back and willfully rewatch the game, and so it's a lot more fun when at least you win at the end, right? But I want to say this, Jay. I'll start it off this route. Congratulations to Texas. Both teams had issues. Both teams knew that the offensive line was going to have to be something that you overcame. And Texas did a very, very much better job at it than Oklahoma did. They even lost Gooseby for a little while there, and still, they made stuff happen, and it looked like Arch Manning played much better in the in panic than Mateer did, and just Texas in general. So, congratulations to them. They walk into the Cotton Bowl, no matter what their record is at this point. They walk into it and say, "We're going to win today." That's their belief, and
Right.
they're not wrong, because what was it? It was a miraculous win 2 years ago. We came in and we stole that one, and they can look at it and say we let that one get away. So without that last touchdown drive, we could be looking at 4 in a row right now, and with most of them not being competitive.
Yeah, and Gabe kind of mentioned at the beginning of his show. I haven't finished the Oklahoma breakdown, but this is probably Sark's worst team right now that he's had since the first year that he got in Texas. And this is probably going to be his worst one for a few years. They still got players coming. They still got things to work. And we talked about the youth of their line is where their struggle is, and that line's going to get older. Like, I'm not naive to believe that that's not something that's going to happen, but yeah, the line's going to get older. For us, the biggest issue has been that we just been cycling through OCs. Now, granted, with Levy coming in, and I mentioned this before, this reminds me of the 2022 season. You bring in an OC and a quarterback, and they're the only two that know the playbook. Everybody's trying to scramble to figure this stuff out. While at the same time, unfortunately for them, Brent Venables was also redoing the defense. And I see a lot of people belly aching in here that BV was a bad hire. No, he wasn't. He's giving you exactly what he said he was going to give you. He's giving you a really good defense. Unfortunately, the offense is not complemented in this game. This is the one game the offense did not complement us. We got complementary offense and defense in the Michigan game. We got that. We got that also in the Auburn game. They play like they're supposed to, right? You still went up against young players, but this was a game where the defense put you in a position in the first half to possibly win this game. Like, I went and looked at the first half stats. Texas was barely moving the ball. That Trey Wisner run for 37 yards that got them to that field goal, that was a highlight. And I tip my hat to Sark in fixing their offensive line problems by doing two things. One, focusing 100% on the short game and telling Arch, get rid of the ball. Don't hold it, get rid of it. I don't care if you throw an incompletion. Honestly, I don't care if you throw an interception, get rid of the ball. Do not hold on to it. And what you started to notice was they used our aggressiveness on the defensive line against us. So basically, as soon as we were making those pushes in the middle, their players were falling on us. And then you would notice the whole line would collapse, and then Arch would just bootleg out. It was perfect. It was smart. It was a genius play. It was, no, we're not going to try to do what we are actually best at, which is launch the ball deep. We're going to meticulously, slow and steady move the ball against a very aggressive defense. He knew what he was going against. He saw that. That's a reason why Arch, most of the passes in the first half, people were asking. I got like 5 text messages that showed up when we got closer to halftime when I got some actual reception, because the Cotton Bowl has yet to fix that problem. But Coop, I'm getting messages from people that are outside watchers of this game that aren't fans of Texas or Oklahoma like, hey, man, how many screen passes are going to be thrown in this game? Like, is all we going to see is screen passes this whole game? Because this is going to get boring real quick. And I'm just cracking up. I'm like, I don't know, man. It felt like it was let's just take our time. I think if we take our time, we'll be effective. And that's what it looked like. And that's how third quarter, that drive, that's how they just started to really move the ball. It was, we're going to take our time. We're not going to rush. We're going to get under center. We're going to huddle and go slow. Genius. It was genius.
And you hear it, when you have good defenses, and you'll hear color commentators, that is, they'll say this defense is going to make you make multiple plays down the entire field, because most offensive coordinators, you get a first down and there's no patience, and it's let's go deep, let's do it, and then you end up with a usually not a completion, or you hurt yourself, a holding call, anything like that.
Right.
Texas in the third quarter, they were on the field, their offense, for 12 minutes and 53 seconds.
12 minutes, 53 seconds. That's good football.
Jay, how many minutes are in a quarter?
15. That is what you want, dog. Like that's what you want.
Sorry,
your offense
13 minutes and 53 seconds.
My
One
bad.
more
Yeah,
minute.
we owe them that extra minute. They deserve it. No, just shout out to Texas. They played a perfect game plan for an aggressive defense and a questionable offense that they were going against. They did everything they're supposed to do. Don't worry, we're going to rip up on the offense too. We're going to take our time to get to that point. There's no reason not to. But the struggle BV has had is he needs to get himself an offensive coordinator that can really scheme it up and make things easier on their quarterbacks. Ben Arbuckle basically went into a battle with PK, Coach Kwiatkowski. I'm just Kwiatkowski. My tongue. I'm annoyed. PK basically taught Ben Arbuckle a lesson in that game. That is exactly what happened. And on the opposite side, it was Sark knew what he was expecting from BV. He's like, all right, I got to find a way to make these overly aggressive dudes, one, and secondly, I need to get out there, once we get out the huddle, immediately hike it. Because you would notice that as BV was calling these plays, sometimes they weren't getting out there soon enough. Why? Because that's how BV does it. He literally does that. That is his setup. That's the way that he does things. It's slow. He waits.
Once it gets to the perfect play call, and again, it
right.
Jay, the defense played well enough to win the game.
They did.
The offense played so terribly that we have to nitpick the defense, which gave up 16 points.
That is the crazy part, dog. Like,
yet again.
First half time of possession, we had it for 18. They had it for 11. The defense did what they were supposed to do to make this game a W. You go into the half 6-3, you're like, yeah, this is probably going to be a very, very defensive-centric game. I told y'all I took the under on this one. I knew it wasn't going to be a high-scoring game because both defenses are good. Like, Texas still has a really good defense. Their interior may not be the best like they've had. Like, their interior is a downgrade from what they've had years with Sweat and all of them. It is. Texas fans will tell you that. They're not going to lie to you. So that's the place that they need to get better. But their secondary has grown, and it's gotten better. And for them, that's where you see a difference. But back to the offensive side, their offensive line, they had dudes hurt. Like Campbell was limping out there, which DJ Campbell being hurt is not good for them going forward. We lost Derek Simmons. They lost losing DJ Campbell. Hurts. That's where the struggle is, right? They had to bring a freshman out, Nick Brooks, to play a guard. Like, they had challenges. Now, the Brooks piece kind of reminded me of when we had Caden Green. He played as a true freshman here in, 23. Kind of a fascinating portion. But they had to shift and move things around. Like, you saw the pressure. So, PFF has the stats, Coop. You know how many pressures we got in this game? I'm assuming you saw it. But how many pressures did we get in this game? Did you look?
I did not look at that one.
So, pressures in this game, we got 25 pressures. 19 hurries. 25 pressures, dog. Like, we made them work for everything they got. And in the plays that Manning was able to make was when he rolled out and got smart and got the ball to the side of the field and got rid of it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want.
Yes.
That's what we want. That's what they wanted. We wanted to make sure that he had to work for it, and he did. First half was it. third quarter was not it. That third quarter, they just kind of just grinded that entire drive. Like you said, what was it, 13 minutes and 50-something seconds in the quarter? They had the ball. 7-minute drive. We go 3 and out, and then a 6-minute drive.
Yeah. And, first quarter, when I felt a little like, oh, man. Because in the first quarter, we held them to 20 yards of offense. And it did not look like they were going to get out of their own way. And this game could have been a little bit worse if they didn't have false starts, holding calls. Now, some of the big plays came because holding calls. And
yeah.
But listen, the punt return, it is what it is. Like it was a missed deal. Yeah. But it did not matter because that had no end all effect because our defense had been on the field for dang near half the second half. For more than at that point, like 75%. So, but again, we got the pressures. And Arch had some ball out moments. He had some moments that he overcame, and he had a absolute. The throw out of his end zone to Livingston. That was the switch of the game, right there.
Yeah, it was.
That one right there because you're. Every other game that we've had that situation happen, the quarterback either didn't throw a terrific pass. Everything had to go perfect for that. He had to roll out. He had to let it go right when he did. He was ready to go. But Arch Manning, his athleticism, and he made a lot of great plays when it was needed from him, and he avoided the big mistake.
Told everybody about Arch that Arch was going to be just fine. I said that I've been saying that for months. Like, people don't want to hear me when I say I think he'll be just fine. He needs a year. He was going to need a year. He'll figure it out. And he did a great job of game managing this one. That's what you have to do to survive big, aggressive defenses like that. Is to really understand that you need to take your time. But they did that. Defense, yeah. That touchdown pass we gave up, I actually saw it. I'm watching Dobie and Peyton Bowen talk to each other. I'm like, they're gonna miss this dude. They got 3 dudes over there. We've got about 2.5 because one guy's back and forth. They're not sure. I'm like, they're gonna miss somebody. And as soon as it was hiked, I was like, dang it, they missed him. They didn't even see him go right behind him. And you just see them sitting there. And that's from me watching it from that end zone from the back. I'm just looking like, oh, please, you're going to miss this, aren't you? And they did. Smart setup of using, like I said, our aggression against us. But that was also that very long drive. So they did well with that. All right. Yep. We're going to talk offense. I know everybody wants to talk the O. Everybody's not happy with the O, and I get it. We'll complain together. But first, shout out to our partners here over at Sleeper. If you're not checking them out for daily fantasy football, you are definitely missing out. They provide you all some of the best odds out there, and one of the best things they're giving right now is $20 for just signing up. So let me go ahead and pick a couple of pieces real quick. Let's look. I'm going to go ahead and take Caleb Williams. We'll take him as the promo. He's a free pick. We'll take him more on his stats. We're going to look at, I'm going to take Cook as well. We'll go more on him, less on Thornton because I don't think his receiving yards are going to really hit. But all you got to do is pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their stats, and boom, you are in the game. And so let's see if you can beat me, and I'll take Rome Odunze as a touchdown because I think Caleb will actually throw that. So check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to hook you up, 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Plus, it's going to give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up per the usual. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Shout out to my mods. They're working. If you're being disrespectful, they're probably going to delete your message. So watch yourself. I'm just going to tell you that now. We're all on edge, and I totally get it. We are all on edge. And that's nothing wrong with being on edge and being disappointed. But once again, my mods will not tolerate disrespectfulness outside of like just us individually being at us. Just be chill. We get it. You're upset. Cool. Deep offense. Jesus Christ.
Again,
Lord, have mercy. Pray for all of us. We need this because my goodness. What? Go ahead, Coop.
I will say this. We know what the issues are. And we know what this offensive line, they're just not getting it. But I will say it's been the same story for 6 games, Jay. It's not a different story. The thing that really made today, or I guess yesterday, bad was the fact that it looks like John Mateer had not played football in 3 weeks. And BV gave us he's done no good on good. And I will shout out the Scoop guys, George and Eddie. I feel like at the end of the day, just focus on the damn team, coach your football team, and let's quit with stupid theatrics. Let's quit with everything. Let's quit with, the Mateer stuff. There's always been the stuff about Jade Knott. There's always been some cute crap. And we just got to, there's no game plan. There's no identity. This year on offense, it has been, okay, John Mateer go out there and do John Mateer things, and he has been able to do them. I don't know what the hell was going on at the end of the first half. That was some of the most ignorant, absent of football IQ, play calling. Everything about it was just ridiculous. But John Mateer, dude goes out and throws the ball 40 times? 17 days after surgery?
20 for 38.
But that's your go. I feel like Arbuckle was scared to run the ball at times. Listen, Trey Wisner has the 37-yard. Or Mason Thomas lets him go. He takes off. He goes. Outside of that 37-yard, you hold him to 2 yards a carry. But you still got to count it, right? You still count the river card when you're playing Hold'em. You got 7 cards you get to use. If you quit running the ball altogether, you have no chance at keeping people off your quarterback. You've got no chance at breaking one of those bigger ones. And I feel like that was one of the things that was just really, really confusing. X-Rob been hurt all season. So listen, there needs to be a coming to Jesus meeting, and it needs to be not from the players. It needs to be from the coaching staff and be like, hey, listen, because, Jay, we're on the clock to go out to South Carolina, who just fired their offensive line coach. And listen, if you got Oklahoma coming in, this is a great opportunity for a big morale boost for your team because they're still ranked.
Yeah. No, it is.
But on offense, it is whatever's going on. Listen, if there's if anybody outside of pretty much Arbuckle at this point, offensive coach, if there was a notification that pops up in the middle of our show that Emma Jones, DeMarco, Bill Bedenbaugh, Joe John Finley, if any of those guys got canned tonight, I'd be okay with it. There's not one of them that I would not be okay, that I would be like, that doesn't make sense. Because Arbuckle took over this, whatever's going on with this offensive line. You can't keep 8 dudes healthy. With wide receivers, I keep seeing really, really piss poor execution of routes, how you're running routes, where they're doing stuff, not sitting down. It's bad. And everybody wants to blow up Jade Knott for the end around, or it looked like he didn't block. That was on Burks. 100% on Burks.
I don't know. Felt like he should have just at least went out there and put contact on.
Yeah, I mean,
Anthony Hill. I mean, it's Anthony Hill. You know he's gonna make a play. You know who number 0 is on defense.
Yeah,
that's like ignoring David Stone.
It is. But I will just say this: is there's nobody out there that looks. I mean, there's no coach out there that I feel like is really just crushing it.
No,
and it's hard.
I don't think you're wrong there at all. Like, to me, it's like every OC we've brought in hasn't brought in their own staff, right? We've got people that kind of held over. And I know that Arbuckle really likes Bill Beatonbow, so I don't expect Beatonbow to go anywhere. We also haven't done a really good job of making sure Beatonbow has all the resources that he needs, as we've talked about before. People complain about the recruiting all the time. We ain't got Michael Fasusi. Fasusi only comes here because of Bill Beatonbow, and Fasusi actually had a solid game. Like, you're not getting him without Beatonbow. You're not getting Fogier without Beatonbow. You're not getting Tyler Guyton without Beatonbow, right? Like, the list is, the problem is we need to get better on the interior right now. That's where we need to improve. Ozaida's improving. He still needs to get better because, all players got to get better. They all need to step up. We need to get some mean dudes out there that actually can do both pass and run blocking. That's what we don't have right now. We have dudes that are mean enough to do both. But the running backs also need to hit the hole that's right there in front of them. Like, Torrey Blaylock
and I'm not
killing.
I'm not. Go ahead. I'm not calling for anybody to be fired. I'm just saying
you wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, it's Bill Beatonbow didn't have the NIL, and then now he does. He's starting to see some of these guys come in here, but it just starts to feel like whatever's going on with the guy. Is it bad luck with the injuries? I mean, because Jake Taylor and Jake Sexton pretty much. It's like a trial, like when you do a trial period. Like you're 7 weeks up, your 7 days is up, and you don't have access to them anymore. So, and
to me, let's see if X Rob is healthy. It looks like he hurt his shoulder. Torrey Blaylock did solid in his pass blocking. Just keep him in the game at all times. He needs to do a better job with his vision and hitting those holes. There was a couple of spots where he did the hesitation and ran. He may have got like 5 yards, but he could have got like 25 if he would have just burst it up. There were spots. And I think that's what it is. And that's where everybody in their DeMarco Murray mindset is of we need to do better with the coaching there. And, I mean, I agree with you. I don't disagree with anybody on that. We also need to scheme it up a little bit better. Arbuckle, like I said, got taken to the woodshed by PK. Kwiatkowski knew exactly what he was expecting from this dude, and he was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that he is forced to go underneath at all times. He will not beat me deep, but I will have my linebackers hover well enough and stunt well enough to where he feels pressure when it's not really there. So remember, I noticed one thing about Mateer. During the game, he kept putting his hand behind his back like this. I went and watched the game again, and I just saw nothing. As the game continued, those white pants got a red spot on them that got redder and redder and redder as the game progressed. Dude was bleeding from his thumb. Now, he'll tell you he didn't feel no pain. He was good. He was playing, but I think that ball started to get slippery in the second half. I think that blood was starting to run and get into the way of what he was trying to do. And you could tell. And kind of as it was mentioned in the comment section, and I said this on my morning after video, you should have just went in and played Hawkins in the second half. Because I know Michael Hawkins would have went out there and at least continued to do the slow and put a similar game plan as Arch. Just go slow and steady. Keep pushing that ball up the field because Hawkins can do it. He would have caused them to have to think about it. They would have made Kwiatkowski think. PK would have had a plan, but he still would have been thinking. And that's what you wanted to do. That defense didn't feel like they had to think. Felt like they were just kind of in autopilot the whole time. Because if you set that up properly, you figure out a little option play or something. I think that Hawkins could have been very serviceable. Heck, Hawkins could have probably kept the chains moving. That's the most important part. Second half, you couldn't keep chains moving. And I don't know if the defense even felt confident in the offense at that point.
Why would you?
yeah, the way they performed. Like, I mean, I looked at the third quarter. I mean, as you mentioned, right? Third quarter, we got 5 yards.
Hey.
5 yards in the third quarter. And I'm not joking. That is for real, because there was only 3 possessions in the third quarter. Texas touchdown on a 75-yard drive on 14 plays, 7 minutes and 11 seconds. They were 10 for 17 on third down. This was the only team that's been very successful on us on third down so far this season. Still highly ranked in the country, but this was the only team that found success on it. Because Texas went out there and made a plan. It was slow down. They had a ton of penalties. A ton of penalties. We did what we were supposed to do on the penalty side. I mean, they had, 4 for 31, and it was like at the wrong times every time. They still found a way to take your time. For us, man, and if everybody's asking the question, why would we play a injured John Mateer in this game instead of going ahead and throw Hawkins out there, keeping it a buck is very simple. Arbuckle and Mateer are the only 2 dudes that know the playbook inside out. They're the ones that can make the on-the-spot adjustment. Mateer said he felt good. I get it. I wouldn't have done it. I would have ran a more scripted offense. Because remember, Buck ain't been here a year yet. He hasn't. Same thing with Lebby. When Lebby had Dylan our first year, there was a lot of figuring stuff out. Plus, BV was figuring out the defense. But 23, you saw a different animal. Because everybody had that offense in their system. Right? You only had a couple of new people to teach. A couple. Like the new receivers you brought in the portal, but you had dudes that you held over from the year from 22 that was understanding the offense, understanding the placement, where they need to be, and also understanding Dylan Gabriel's arm. A lot of these dudes don't know Mateer's arms. But outside of that, though, Coop, this is the thing that bothered me the most about how this offense played. And y'all are all on the run game, and I totally agree with y'all on that. Dog, people were wide open.
There was a bunch.
There were wide open receivers streaking. The interception, the first interception that Mateer threw, and this is why I lost my mind. I'm watching it from the end zone at the game, and I'm like, dude, Satania's wide open. It looked like he panicked and threw it into triple coverage. I go back and rewatch it at 2:30 this morning because I couldn't sleep. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, and they said in the broadcast, Satania right here, wide open. And I'm just like, son of a, come on, man. He was right there. And that's the thing that got me, is that he was right. Satania was open. There was a few times. Shout out to him. If I'm going to give some good love in this game, in this one, Burks had one of his better games. You start to see him really moving around. Satania's butt was finding ways to get wide open a lot. Like a lot in this game. Weren't hitting him. And even Mateer said it. My eyes was in the wrong spots. He was more concerned about not making mistakes, that he made a bunch of them. So, I gotta wait another year to play against him. The questions in the comment section. I promise you, I think Mateer's coming back next year. No reason for him to leave now, unless he goes for like $350 a game for the rest of the year. Dude will be back. No, and
when it all breaks down, is Texas found a way in the second half. And John Mateer, dude didn't play in the third quarter. You had literally 3 plays. Those 3 plays didn't go well, but going into that, BV always talks about you got to win those final 4, and that, the final 4 going in, final 4 coming out, first 4 of the game, last 4 of the game, right? So you basically could go up 9-3 with whatever momentum that there was to be had. You don't do it right. I don't know what happened. Then you got then you come in, you go through the first drive for Texas. You go 3 and out. We go 3 and out quite often on our first second half possession. Like it's a common theme. I'd like to see. I bet we do it more often than not. And then John Mateer doesn't get back in, so he had plenty of rest.
Yep.
He had plenty of rest. He literally played for 3 snaps in a 25-minute period.
Dog,
and
Three.
I mean, he throws the interception. He throws the interception at the end of the first half.
Hey,
and
man.
Then
Stop. We're going to talk about that right now. Hey, man. Look. I understand the sentiment of Burks is just out there. I'm going to chunk it. My boy, Deion Burks is 5'9". We don't
Very
do that
much
with a 5'9" wide receiver. You hit him streaking. He was open too initially, but it was the hesitation.
It was
the hesitation that kicked our butt in that play. The time management piece. We talk about BV and his struggles with that. I think this was on Arbuckle. They probably should have called a timeout as soon as they made that substitution and Texas took their time. Should have immediately hit the boom. Gives you about 35 seconds. You could have got it to about 30. You realize what was happening. Call a timeout. You knew it was going to go down. Use that timeout there instead of at 10. You could have got a play off. You could have probably got that quick play off to Burks. Get the first down. The time's going to stop. You run up there. You spike it. Get your field goal. Walk out the door. Or you hit for the end zone. You don't make it, and you kick the field goal. Let Sandell show you what that left leg looked like. You didn't do that. That pass was ridiculous. You threw it right to Manny Muhammad, giving him 2 picks in this game. Straight to him. That was the problem. Like, the third interception was a tip pass that, off hands, off multiple hands. Yeah. That one, egregious. Egregious, Coop. Why would you even flick it to the right? You at least had 2 dudes over there playing, somebody play jump ball. No. If you do that to me, if you're going to just throw it out there to somebody, Giovanni Gibson needs to be that dude out there doing that. In which, luckily, he should be back next year as well.
And here's the thing. When it's all said and done, man, I just really feel like maybe it was a mistake to have Mateer out there. I mean, he threw a lot of balls in harm's way, and he's gotten away with a lot this year. He's gotten away with a lot. He's already thrown several interceptions, but he's had a lot dropped too. Texas just caught him. They got him this week, and this is one game. But I will have to say this. I mean, going into next year, I don't care what the record is. I think that I will be hard-pressed to pick OU to beat Texas next year until they show me that some of these coaching gaffes and this just mental blocks have been fixed.
Yeah.
Because it's not been close three of the 4 years. And it's got to get better. Now, do I think that this game is going to change next week's game? No, they're 2 different things. We're here to talk about the Texas game. On Wednesday, we'll start breaking down South Carolina. But
yeah, that was
the
breakdown.
This, defense, like I said, I mean, defense, you still hold them to right at, was it 304 yards, 20 yards in the first quarter.
Way better than I expected, dog. First quarter, like you said, first quarter was a total of 40 yards of offense from them total. I don't think they netted that, but that's what they got in total. Like, it was very, very, very conservative on total offensive yards. Second quarter, 74 yards, so you start to see them ramp up. But the third quarter is when you start to see them cook. Third quarter, only 140 yards of total offense. We had 26. That's not the net. That's the total. Yeah. But 93 passing yards, 47 on the ground.
But
they were
when you give the ball up, you take away yards. There's a lot of hidden yards, right? So all 3 interceptions, you don't have a 50-yard net punt at the back end of that possession. So, and especially when you do it on downs. Because we turn the ball over on downs twice.
Yeah.
So, it's when at the end of the day, the defense played well enough to win. And the offense, this feels like the Tennessee game from last year. I said that to you before we started up. Except for except for we didn't cause any of the turnovers. Because I can promise you this, after the first 2 drives for Texas, it looked like everything that everybody was predicting from the OU side, that the Arch was in hell. And I just give it up to Arch and give it up to Sarkisian and give it up to Trey Wisner. Those guys, they kept grinding. They really did keep grinding.
They did. That's exactly. They kept the grind going. That was the most important thing, is that they kept pushing. But at the same time,
yeah, I will say, Benji, you got it right. The most exciting play on offense I think I saw was David Stone and Jaden Jackson rolling out there. That
was fun. I just don't know if I want to have much fun right now with how bad everything was going, dog. Just brutal. All right, we gotta let's pivot. We're gonna focus more on Mateer next year, and also this question from Cleo: why isn't the defense causing any turnovers? Let's talk about that. Let's pay a bill first. We do that. Shout out to our partners at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy football or daily fantasy sports in general, you are missing out. They are hooking everybody up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. No deposit required. Use our promo code UNFAIR. But if you decide to deposit, they're going to give you $100 if you deposit $100. And I jump in there and I play quite often. You just pick 2 or more players, pick more or less, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money, which turns your game days into paydays. So download the app. It's one of the top apps out there. Use our promo code UNFAIR. You're going to get $100 if you deposit $100. But if you decide not to deposit, they're going to give you $20 for signing up. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up per the usual. Hit that like button if you are new to the channel. Subscribe. Rate, review, give us 5 stars. We appreciate every single one of y'all. We appreciate the friendly banter from our Texas fans in here that we do love. They don't say mean things about people's moms or kids. They just like to pick at us and say that OU sucks, which that doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm cool with that because what are rivalries if you don't have fun banter? But I digress. Cool. Hey, man, why can't this defense cause turnover, man? WTF.
Hey, I will say this.
I'm putting you on the spot. You need to give me the answer.
You guys, hey, guys just told, when it's running plays, Trey Wisner got damn near ran through a wall when David Stone was, in the air, drills him on the side. Wisner holds onto the ball. I haven't seen a lot of, there's been drop balls, a lot, but nobody's putting the ball in conflict. It's just not happening. And I don't know how many of what did Arch throw? 27 passes. 27 throws, right? Average 6 yards per throw. I think he had 3 passes that went more than 10 yards downfield. Their team's just not putting. They know that they're going up against a strong defense, and I don't understand how no fumbles are being caused. Because we've had crappy defenses and been able to, and had more turnovers than this.
And that's the bad part. As you say that, it doesn't even seem like we're trying to punch the ball. We're just missing tackles. Like we missed, how many tackles did we
12.
miss in this game? 12 tackles.
12 tackles.
We weren't even trying to punch the ball. It was just the basics were bad in this game. And that's not something I would have expected out of this defense because they have been playing very good. Like, you're going to give up one big one because you get a little over-aggressive. That is how this defense works. I have no problem with that because overall, that usually doesn't lead to points. We won't complain about that. Yeah, if I give up a 50-yard run, cool, and then I force a field goal or you miss a field goal, that's a win for us. You get a field goal. Sometimes you get a big one and they get a touchdown like Michigan did. But for the most part, we weren't really giving up plays like that. Arch only got 1 passing touchdown. So you could tell that it was a dink and dunk type setup of, hey, man, just don't put the ball in harm's way. Smart strategy. That's not even a knock on Arch. That is more of a, no, we're going to play in the confines of this offense because we know what this defense is capable of. That's more of a respect for what the defense plays than anything. Keep that in mind. I appreciate the fact that they were they had a strategy.
Well, you look in the first quarter, and why did they have such bad luck converting anything? Because they kept on putting themselves in harm's way. That was a negative play, a throw behind the line of scrimmage, a big loss on a running play, penalties, and they said, well, let's just do this. Let's simple concepts, get your 3, get your 4, get your 5, and then continue on. And when you don't put yourself in 3rd and 23, things are a little bit easier, turns out. And while we're, chucking the ball up downfield and praying for a miracle. So, I mean, that's a big thing is we don't have a lot of quarterbacks that are going up against our defense and like, hey, I'm just going to throw it up downfield and we'll see what happens. Like those types of things aren't happening. They don't throw the ball over the middle of the field very much. I mean, you're running rub concepts and you're throwing the ball. If you're going to, it's going to be your guy or it's going to hit the turf. And there was one concept and the ball got. I don't know. It was in the second quarter, but ball floated in the air, and I was like, surely somebody from our team is going to be there.
Nope.
And the ball lands, and then it pans out, and you see like 10 yards, 15 yards, and then you see, the southern Dallas, and then finally one of our guys comes in the screen, and I was just like, who the hell were they guarding? Like, there's 3 guys back there guarding one guy, and there's just nobody in that spot. I mean, it's still baffling to me because you got 2 turnovers versus Kent State.
That's it.
Who actually whooped the shit out of some, whoever they played this weekend. But
did they dominate somebody this week?
Oh yeah,
tell me that.
They like 48-14 or something like that. They did really.
Jeez,
they played somebody else that was terrible, but they were the less terrible.
That's very fascinating, actually.
I don't know. I don't know why the turnovers just continue to not be there. Because I mean, it's not like this defense doesn't knock the crap out of people on a daily basis. Every single one of these hits, these are big hits. I mean, you saw Wisner. I mean, I just again got to give it up to him because he took 3 or 4 really, really, really big hits. And he held on to the ball.
He kept getting up.
Taylor Wine got him with like a 5-yard loss, and I thought, Taylor Wine was going to throw him into the stands or something. But
I thought he was going to come out the game after that hit. Honestly, one of them hits that one of them got him. And I was like, ooh, I think they may have to pull Trey. He looks, and actually, I think he came out and then he came back.
He did.
In.
He went up the tunnel.
He's like, hey, shoot me up. Shoot. Go ahead and shoot me up, dog. Shoot me up. And I'm going to keep running on this hammy. And I hope that he's good for the Kentucky game because Kentucky will put you into rock fights some magical way. I don't know how the heck Mark Stoops does it, but I digress. I expect after this one, man. So going into this weekend, I saw FanDuel's early lines and some of the other early lines out there. It appears that we are a 4.5-point favorite going to South Carolina. Now, understand this. South Carolina is bad. Like, bad. They're us without a defense. They can't run. I thought Faison was going to be a good back for him. He hasn't figured it out. Lenore Sellers, everybody's questioned about him throwing the ball, has now starting to show in his head. Like, he just does not look like, Matt Fuller right now is kind of their top back for the most part because Faison's not showing up. Nick Harbor's not doing anything. Sellers is not playing good. And then South Carolina just fired their offensive line coach right before they play against us. Like, we thought South Carolina was going to be the sleeper team this year, and it does not look good. We're going to break that down, of course, on Wednesday because there's a lot to talk about going into that game. But, dog, things do not look good for them right now.
I will say this. The year where the Belldozer was invented, we went out, lost to Texas, had K-State on the road that very next week. And I want to say it was like a 48-0 type of a game. Like, we kicked the living crap out of K-State.
We showed up for a team.
And so what needs to happen going forward, like, here's the thing, is there has to be, like I said, I think a coming to Jesus meeting between all those offensive coaches and be like, guys, we're not going to be here next year if we don't figure some of these things out. Yep. Now, it's a different game. It's like I said, Texas has got it. They walk into this game every year now thinking it doesn't matter. I mean, Texas could have not won a single game, and they would be walking in that game going, but this is where we get number one. I think Malik Muhammad not being at the Florida game, I think that hurt them. So it does not matter from this point on. Yeah. This is the last unranked team. There's no easy games left on the schedule.
Nope. And now we get to show who we are, and if we are who we claim that we should be. This is now the time. We're going to show it because we're going to be going up against, like you said, this schedule does not get easy going forward. Look at the rankings. Let me see. Because, of course, top 25's dropped. AP poll, coaches poll, all the polls that most of us do not like anyway. We don't respect their polls. We don't like their kind. They say something about you people. Let's see if I can.
And I will say this also. Congratulations, Texas. We actually threw that game so that you guys could be ranked again. So
that's actually pretty funny. That's a funny thing to say.
We wanted you. We wanted you back in there.
Yeah, we missed you. Even though they were in the coaches poll or whatnot.
Yeah.
Top 25 polls are here. We dropped to 14 on the AP, and we are 13 on the coaches polls. The coaches actually like us a lot more. Texas moved up to 17. I think they were in the 20s in the coaches poll, and now they're number 21 in the AP. In which, truth be told, I don't know why the AP actually dropped them so fast. Good thing they did drop Penn State because, Penn State deserved to be completely dropped out of there. But it's kind of fascinating.
It could be worse. Could be worse, Sooner fans.
Yeah, goodness. They fired their coach. Hey, so let me ask y'all this. So we see the polls, polls, whatever. Just keep winning, baby. I say the same thing every single time. I just keep winning, man. That's all you got to do. And, Michigan losing to USC got them knocked off. But let me ask this question, though, Coop. Do we dodge a bullet with Jim Knowles not coming here?
Dodging a bullet because
here's the thing. He didn't come here because he thought that Britt Venables was probably going to end up getting fired, so he didn't want to.
Which is funny.
Another job. Which is ironic.
Yes, and I'll say my piece on Jim Knowles here in a second, but Oklahoma wasn't in with the coaches poll at the beginning of the season, or was it the AP? It was one of the. We weren't even ranked.
A coaches poll. Coaches poll. We weren't.
Okay. Coaches poll, not even ranked.
AP did.
You go through, you win the games that you had in front of you. This situation happens. We're still in the middle, right? And I've said it on top of every single thing. I've been excited. This defense is still very good. This defense can't be on the field 75% of the time and shut people down. Like this isn't the NFL. This ain't the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. Like they're still kids.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay, Penn State had a Heisman candidate and was a lot of folks' teams with the caveat of could James Franklin win the big game?
Yep.
They gone. And I also say this about Knowles. I was not too frustrated by Knowles not coming here. And here's why I say this is Knowles has had two really good defenses. Both times he had the really good defenses, he had a bunch of fourth and fifth year seniors and juniors at Oklahoma State, and then he had a bunch of that same situation last year at Ohio State, a lot of older players.
And he was there for an additional year. It takes about 2 years to get a DC's defense really in position because you got to get your guys, you got to get them up to speed, to the calls, to making adjustments. And that was the thing my complaint about BV in this game was we've got to do a better job of having 2 or 3 plays ready and have them just get in position because that's what Texas did. They huddled up and said, we're not going to let you see what we're doing. And you're not going to be able to quickly get your play in. It was as soon as they hiked it, we're still what the call is. We need to get those calls, just get a few options and let Kobe and Kip let the mic do their job. You guys make your adjustments, communicate with your teammates, and go from there. But yeah, it takes time for that. And so now, I mean, Knowles may have a chance to get the head coaching job there, though, if we're being honest. But it's funny. This is why I said the defense is still good. Texas averages 399 yards per game, and we held them 99 yards less than what they normally go for. Well, about 90 yards less. That's a good thing. And we suck on offense. And they kept us at about the exact same spot.
Again, defense did not lose that game this week. You go out and you can, make one of those field goals into a touchdown, not have the field goal at the end of the half, and then do anything on the fourth. But BV, this game last year is where we saw it, and Sarkisian had it. We saw it last year. There were so many play calls where they were staring over at the sideline, and that's when it became a big talking point last year. So, but BV is going to do what BV is going to do. It is what it is. So, yeah, you gotta. Hey, but going back to Penn State, it's not even that Penn State lost back-to-back games. Penn State lost to UCLA and then Northwestern. I mean, that's yeah.
The game's a game, man.
So it could be worse. There's always somebody else having a worse day. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a big week. Going to need to get back on, finding some kind of offensive identity. Do I think Mateer is probably going to play better this week? Yeah, I do. It looked like he was rusty. It looked like he was not operating off of instinct. He was being impulsive. He was being reactive, and he's going to have to go out there and put together a good week of practice. And I did hear that Simmons, I think it's just the ankle. It looked like it might have been a knee when he got rolled up on. But it's guys. You guys like Keontez Lewis and John Mateer, after what happened the past couple weeks, Keontez shows up there, plays, starts. So that's a big difference I see in this year's team versus last year's. Somebody got hurt, and you're like, God, will we ever see them again? And I think that a good week of practice with Giovanni Gibson needs to be had.
I think he's about there. I mean, that pass play was very interesting, but it looked like he was getting himself going.
Well, I want to see somebody throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And again, if he didn't get any run time with Mateer during practice, that's it. So
yeah, that's what we need. We just need a good practice, and we'll be good. We should be able to get him going. I would like to see more Giovanni Gibson moving forward. I want to see more Zion Kearney as well. The defense overall, though, like I said, they play solid, except that third quarter was awful. Awful. But the wide receivers played good. They caught. They made their blocks. Kind of did what they were supposed to. The biggest question was, is somebody going to throw them the ball?
And, well, there's that. But then, Kanak had a drop on the first play of the game. Ott had a drop. I think there was one other one, and that didn't help things out either. But yeah, I mean, you gotta have a little bit more this week. And like I said, I'm just hoping that if I think that with the bleeding of Mateer, I don't think that that's going to be an issue next week. Or this week, that is. Again, I think at this point, I mean, his hand was cut open 2 weeks ago, and the stitches popped, and he was bleeding.
Very gross. Very gross, very disgusting. Did not expect to hear that. When I heard that, I was like, ew. That's not what I was expecting to hear.
Do you expect to see Jade Knott anymore going forward?
No. I think he's done. That experiment is over.
Yeah.
That experiment is 100% done. Like, there's no value in even trying to do that again. Like, for what? Right? Like, what's the value of it?
It's just if you get, I guess I still don't know what's Tatum, what's his availability look like, because he was going through walkthroughs against Kent State and against Auburn, and we still haven't seen him. You saw X was out there, which again just kind of blows my mind. X not played all season long and getting meaningful snaps in the first quarter. Again, I don't. And Jimmy, it ain't Nagy's fault. Ott is just a mental midget, and he just can't get out of his own way. But if you got something wrong, you got the yips, and you can't press it through mentally. It doesn't matter how gifted talent your athleticism is.
Right.
You see it in any sport. You get a shooter who can't get out of his own head, he ain't going to hit three-pointers anymore. You see a pitcher who can't hit the strike zone, he's moving out to right field.
Yeah, sucky part for the odd hole situation. He's a senior. I think he's got his 5 games in. I was hoping he's going to be something. But, yeah.
Maybe you can go out there, Jay. You can give us some snaps, right?
Yeah, I'm good on that. But he needs to get himself ready for the league. That's basically what we have to do now.
He's going to have to. Ott's not getting drafted.
I didn't say he was getting drafted. I was saying he's going to have to go play. He can get signed by somebody. He's going to have to show that he's got the work for it. He couldn't show it on the field. He's got a lot, and the SEC would have been the best place to show it.
Yeah,
didn't work out. Just didn't
correct,
work out. Sucks, but it's no different than your NFL team signing somebody and it just didn't work out. That's the game. The game is the game. So, all right. I just want to see more Torrey Blaylock. He did good in pass block. Just give him the ball a lot. Hopefully, Tatum and X-Rob gets over their dings and they can play soon. But any final thoughts? Let's get out of here.
No, that's it. It
was bad.
Yeah, we just got to get it going because let's see here. None of the running backs were on the injury listing, and from what I'm understanding from one of the folks is I don't think that if you're listed as a scout team that you have to, and you're hurt, they don't have to put you on the injury deal. So unless Tatum is on scout team, and then that's a whole nother, case. But no, it's this one sucks. Again, we're all going to turn the TV on next week. Come Wednesday, we're going to be talking, unnecessary hopium. But yeah, I just want to see this team actually improve. Texas balled out. They showed up. They played to the best of their ability on both sides of the ball. And we didn't match it.
For me, we flush it. We move on. We're now back. We were 0-1 last week. Now we are back to 0-0. We got to figure out a way to win this week. And I have faith that this team can do it. So I, like others, am not stressed. I think we'll be just fine in the long term. Arbuckle, get creative, my boy. Get creative. And that's funny. Jonathan, it's a good point. I've been saying we won't be fixed soon, but Texas seemed to figure theirs out this week. So, yeah, it's all about playing to get your strengths, playing against the teams the proper way, and let's see what happens against South Carolina. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you aren't checking them out, use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100 at 100%. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms used for details. And me and Coop will see each and every one of you Wednesday as we prepare for South Carolina. Let's do it. Peace.